A key element of any kind of communications is, well, to get people to do something. As Sean Matthews, CEO of Visix, has said many times in the past, the purpose of digital communications is to change human behavior. Now, when you're promoting things like health and wellness, obviously you're hoping to encourage people to make some kind of positive change and adopt maybe a new routine that directly benefits them. And a tool like digital signage offers many opportunities to do that. To help me discuss some of the ins and outs of content ideas for health and wellness, I am speaking with Ellyce Kelly, professional services consultant for Visix. Hi, Ellyce.
Hi, Derek. How are you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for coming on the podcast. And thank you, everybody out there, for listening. Don't forget you can subscribe and you can follow along with a transcript on the Visix website. Whether you're using digital signage or not, our podcast gives you practical tips for communications and content to better engage your audience. I'm Derek DeWitt. Welcome to Digital Signage Done Right. It's the new year, and I know a lot of people, I don't, but a lot of people make New Year's resolutions, which sometimes last a whole month. And usually this is some kind of health-related thing. I'm going to start exercising more. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to go to the gym and so on. In fact, I saw a statistic the other day that said something like gym memberships quintuple in the first 5 weeks of every year. And then, of course, they disappear.
I have seen that, and I think I've been a victim of that, if I can call myself a victim, or perhaps I just, it's long, long ago. I've done it.
Right? I think many people have, yeah. Health and wellness is very much a buzzword these days. I know a lot of organizations are talking about it for various reasons, but it might be helpful to just kind of, real quick, let's run through the why of it, right? I have to think about why I might do something, or if I'm of a more selfish bent, what are the benefits to me? Why should I care about health and wellness messaging?
If you have happy workers, right? Happy employees, happy staff, folks that are feeling good, want to get up, want to come to work, that's going to benefit your company. It's going to save you money. You're going to have people that are more alert. They're going to feel better. You're going to have less healthcare costs that are associated when you bring employees on board. It's good to have happy people. Right?
As I always say, happy cows make happy milk. Yeah. There are a lot of surveys out there that say that the C-suite and HR and comms teams they're really starting to focus on this for exactly like what you said, because it turns out that when people are happy, they're just better workers,
Absolutely. And if you've got someone that works on a plant floor, those can be pretty dangerous jobs depending on where you are on that floor. And, it's important to promote not just wellness and health, but safety on that floor.
And I think, obviously you're also just creating a more positive culture for people in the office, for people outside the office. It doesn't matter if you have a hybrid workforce or not. And you're going to attract and retain better talent also by having some kind of a program like this. So I understand you have assembled 10 specific benefits of wellness messaging on digital signage, and I'm eager to hear them.
Number one is going to be supports workplace wellness. Yep. So this reinforces company health initiatives, and it creates a culture that prioritizes employee well-being, which we just talked about.
Obviously, it communicates the idea that, hey, as an organization, yeah, we do care. We don't just care about your productivity. We also, we care about you as people.
Absolutely. All right. So number two, fosters community health goals. So that aligns with the broader public health campaigns or organization-wide wellness objectives, which just amplifies the impact.
Sure, of course, because I think we know that it's not just in the workplace. Everybody's talking about this. Schools are talking about it. Sometimes in parks, you see those little here's a little exercise station with, I don't know what they are because I don't pay any attention to them when I see them because I'm too busy trying to get to the pub. But I know that there are little things you can step on and lift and things you can hang from. And it's kind of all around us all the time.
Yes, it is. All right. So number three, promotes healthy habits. You're going to hear me say this a lot during this podcast on the Visix website. We have lots of great resources, but you can check out our content subscriptions, and we have some really, I would not have a digital signage system without them. Really nice subscriptions for nutrition, to help you adopt positive behaviors, exercise, mental wellness practices. We have a lot of resources for that on our website, and through content subscriptions. And it's good to just, mix those in with your regular content. It looks great and it works. All right. So number 4, raises awareness. So you're informing the audience about, key health topics such as flu prevention, drinking water, ergonomic tips. I'm terrible at drinking water, so I'm reminded of that pretty often when I walk by some of our displays, and just fostering a more informed community. Again, another content subscription that we have is a local health. It's got really nice graphics, and it just lets you know, hey, cold and flu are up, but allergens are down. But it's neat to see that type of information. And also just kind of makes you more aware, like, okay, maybe when I go to the grocery store, maybe I'll just kind of keep my distance a little bit if flu is up. Right?
Right. Or, hey, a bunch of people who are in the office today are huggers. I see that digital signage message that reminds me, hey, cold and flu season is up. And I'm like, yeah, now I have yet another reason to tell that person, please don't hug me.
Exactly. Yes, that is true. It's true. All right. So then we've got number 5, which is improves mental well-being. And mental health I know it's a hot topic, but it's something that's been around forever. It's just now more prevalent in our everyday life and news.
I would imagine cavemen got depressed sometimes. Like, is this all there is?
Yes. And hunting every day. And I wouldn't want to do that. But motivational quotes, stress management tips, mindfulness prompts, that can uplift moods. And that uplifting moods, what does that equal? Less stress. All right. So number 6, this is encourages preventive care.
Something that people don't think about. They usually just fix it when it breaks. It's like, how about it doesn't break to begin with?
Yes, this is just to remind you of, like annual checkups. Most of this stuff is covered by insurance, right? It's paid for, like your company has paid for it in many cases. So that's good reminders about checkups, getting vaccinations, so that you're protected from things like the flu. So, and then just preventing, illness, promoting early detection. So that's those annual checkups. A lot of those can certainly help promote early detection if there is something. So number 7, increases engagement. So visually engaging content, what does that do? Grabs attention. We all know that. So making health messages more likely to be absorbed if they're pretty and they're fun and they have graphics, and the graphics are what grab your attention. It's not necessarily the text. I mean, it can be the text. I've got some clients doing some fun stuff with text that's definitely grabbing attention, but that's really what it does. The graphics and the visuals are what catch your eye, and then hopefully you read the rest, right? Number 8, boost productivity. Help tips on topics like posture or sitting up straight. And then hydration. I mentioned that earlier. I'm terrible at drinking water, but it definitely helps you focus. Helps you be more efficient, and it's just good for you, right? Everybody knows that. So,
and I think this is especially true in educational settings. K-12 comes to mind. Like, hey, don't forget, kids, it's not an all chocolate milk day. Like, you got to drink some water, eat a carrot, go out there and participate in PE, walk around the track, stuff like that.
Run around in a circle, hit somebody with dodgeball, what we used to do when I was young. And then we've got number 9, we're almost there, real-time updates. So providing timely information on emergencies, such as like a heat advisory. Again, if you have folks that are out working in the field, if they're maybe just in an outdoor environment, you could be working at a railroad track. We have clients that are in all sorts of industries, and heat index is incredibly important if you're going to be outdoors.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'd also say, I know that this kind of gets out of health and wellness a bit, but, other climate-related things that also affect health, like, hey, where I'm from, San Francisco, I don't live there anymore, but the last few years, California has been hit with these atmospheric rivers, which 5 years ago no one had ever heard of. And it's like, here's what you do if one of those hits you while you're out and about, All
right, last one, number 10, adds variety. So it's adding variety to your messaging, but make sure it's relevant to your organization, location. I said this earlier, your plant folks, they're going to have different messaging, perhaps, or some different messaging, not all, than folks that are working maybe in a headquarters office or in an office, just not on the plant floor.
Right. If you're using a forklift in your cubicle, then something's off.
Yes, something's interesting about that, maybe unless you're redecorating. But yes, you're right. You don't need to put messages about hard hats and forklifts and, looking both ways before you cross the aisle in a cubicle. You are correct. So got to make sure you've got the right information for your audience.
Sure, of course. Now, I know you were talking about how sometimes this kind of messaging can help reinforce sort of what's going on inside the company, like wellness resources, for example, that organizations offer. Let's talk about those for a second.
Sure. So benefits. I mean, that's the number one thing that I can think of. What's included in your package? There might even be additional things that you didn't even know about, right? Because who goes online and looks at all that?
Or you didn't pay attention because you didn't think they were relevant to you 10 years ago. Hey, guess what? As someone who just recently turned 57, I can tell you that, yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of months before you go, wow, my vision's going down, or wow, I have super hairy ears, or whatever is suddenly coming upon you physically,
Right. Do I have eye coverage on this thing? Because I need to go get some really good reading glasses. And then, things like televisits that keep you from having to, drive maybe an hour in traffic. You see the doctor on a televisit, you're on video, maybe it's just over the phone, whatever it is, but you're not out there in traffic and then everybody coughing at you, right? And so you've just saved a ton of time doing a televisit rather than maybe being gone for 3 hours. So it depends on where you live and how easy it is to get around, but that's something that's less stress and you're not away from your desk as long. So
right, and I think also it's less hassle, and so therefore people are more likely to do it. I don't go to the doctor hardly ever because, oh, well, that's my afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the same way. And you don't have to wait. If you are waiting, you can work while you wait. You can't do that when you're sitting in a lobby of a doctor's office.
This is true. This is very true. And I know some companies also, like they even offer up real specific stuff, diet plans, quitting smoking, what do they call them? Smoking cessation programs, things like that. Like, I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, eye and hearing exam reminders. Again, a lot of those things are included. Those are just, again, reminders like, hey, go get your eyes checked out so you can see that screen better. Some folks might have fitness centers. They might have discounts on gym memberships. They might have little kind of quiet rooms or quiet areas where you can go and chill out, relax, or play some ping pong. Or I know a company that's got all those things.
Gee, does it rhyme with Twizzix?
It does.
Ah.
It does. And also just holiday closings and reminders, and reminders to take personal time off.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hope that we're past the era of, the cliche the old guy, dad who's like, I'm proud of the fact that I never once took a sick day. And you're like, so you're the guy that got the whole office sick. Congratulations. Thanks, Joe.
Yes, exactly. And how productive were you when you, were coming in coughing up a lung?
Yeah, take sick days off and take days off when you're not sick. Just take the holiday. You're paid for it.
Mental health day. Yes.
I don't know what I'll do with myself. Well, figure it out. How about you do nothing? Just zone out, chill, read a book, spend time with your kids, start sculpting. I don't know, something.
Sculpting. That'd be fun.
It's kind of time consuming. Now, it's not just the corporate world, though. I mean, I know we're talking a lot about companies and things like this, but it's all sorts of different organizations. This is important. Anywhere there are people, we need the people to be healthy and happy.
Absolutely. So student wellness, big topic. You mentioned that earlier, especially mental health. And then manufacturing, we just talked about that a little bit, big on safety and wellness messagings. And then cafes and restaurants, those can be in hospitals. As a matter of fact, I just recently worked with a nutritionist at a hospital, making great menus for their health organization, promoting that, and then putting up how many calories is in this dish, how many grams of protein, how many carbs. I was like, wow, I think you might be one of the few people that I've worked with that's actually putting all that information in there, which I think is great. And of course, dietary icons are great too, because you can see those from a good ways away and you're like, oh, that has sodium in it. I need to cut back sodium.
Exactly. And here's the thing. If it's not applicable to you, so who cares?
Exactly. Because it's applicable to somebody.
Right. For me, I don't care, but so what? It's I'm not the only audience.
But if you're allergic to fish, you can't have fish or shellfish, then you need to know that, right? And they might be so busy when you're ordering it or getting whatever, you don't think to ask. I mean, whoever's checking you out is not going to say, you're not allergic to shellfish, are you? Right?
Sure, sure. And then there's just kind of the day-to-day, everyday stuff, right? That reminders to do things.
Yes. So sitting at your desk or sitting, in your chair doing your podcast. When's the last time you stretched? When's the last time you took a walking break? I mean, if you walk around in a circle, who cares? Using stairs, of course, are great.
Instead of the elevator, yeah.
Yes, instead of the elevator, I do it sometimes unless it's, really cold. Just reminding people to do that. I mean, if you just take a 2-minute break away from your desk, you're going to come back and you're going to be like, okay, I can now configure widgets again.
I took 2 minutes. I went away. I drank some water, Ellyce.
Yes, drank water. Exactly. Good idea. And then, also encourage standing instead of sitting in not just a stand-up desk for like a single employee, but let's say you go to a meeting, everybody's sitting, you've got, 8 people around a conference table. What if everybody just stands for the first 5 minutes or at the end, just say, hey, all right, everybody stand up. We're going to stretch.
Or especially if it's a short meeting, if it's 15 minutes or less, why even take the time and energy to sit down and stand up? Just have a standing meeting.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And here's one that I love in the summer and the spring and the fall and not in the winter. Park further away from the entrance of your building. We're shopping centered.
It's always the fight to see who can get closest. Yeah.
Yes, I will park far away, even if it's cold. If I feel that, wow, I'm going to be sitting here forever trying to get a spot up front, because there's 18 people waiting for a spot up front. So, but it's also good for you. It's good to get the exercise, even if it's cold.
Yeah, that's true. Or blistering hot or raining. Now, of course, during the year, we just had an episode recently about, the holidays and coming up with your plan for the year. And throughout the year, there are different National Nutrition Month, for example, is March. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. June is National Safety Month. And it doesn't mean, and the rest of the time you can be unsafe. It's just, again, the whole idea is to remind people, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October. We just had World AIDS Day back on December 1st. These things are regular. It's easy content. You can literally schedule it at the beginning of the year because you know when those dates or months or weeks are, and then it just automatically goes into the playlist.
Absolutely. You can do that with obviously mental health and wellness and things like you just mentioned. So go ahead and do it.
And again, the purpose of these things is to raise awareness.
It is. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to educate, inform, and inspire. And then, specific tips and information related to whatever that awareness month is. I think that's important to kind of mix that in too. Don't just throw up, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. That's it. But yeah, I mean, and then think about this. Do you want to have folks give them an opportunity to donate? If you think about it too, personal stories. So somebody may know somebody that's passed away from breast cancer or fought and maybe, so personal stories, sharing things like that with others can help people heal. People also think, wow, maybe I should go get that screening that's included with my package.
And it's interesting. I like that you use the word inspire, not just inform people, but inspire them. And the personal stories angle, it doesn't have to be a downer. It could be like Nutrition Month is March. Maybe someone on staff is really into nutrition, or they're really into I have these recipes, for example, that are super, super delicious, but also outrageously healthy for a number of things. Get them to share their stuff as well. It can be positive as well as cautionary tales.
Yeah. Absolutely. Then, of course, you have safety training opportunities. There, again, lots of folks are in jobs where they have to be really careful. I think safety training is important, and it's good to get everybody, on board. So certainly promoting those and getting folks to take those trainings is something that is certainly going to help that person and also the people around them and also the company itself. So we also have employee achievements and recognition and health and wellness. It could be as simple as someone, running a marathon.
Right. this person did this. Or heck, Marcy has gone to the gym every day for 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to be proud of. Running a marathon is something to be proud of. And then that might inspire somebody else to say, wow, I really need to get out there and do something.
I'm going to go talk to Joe since he ran that marathon and ask him all about it.
Yeah, and maybe it was in a really neat place and like, oh, how was that? And share pictures, share your story, share pictures. They can be short, sweet, and fun. But yeah, it makes, somebody did something that they've achieved, that they've been working towards, a goal they've been working towards, share it with them and, give them a pat on the back, and just partner with local gyms, health food stores, yoga studios. You could have people come into your office or on campus that have one of those fancy massage chairs that you see at the airport, and don't charge, just bring it in and let folks sit in that thing for 5 minutes.
In theory, you could also work a deal with, gyms, yoga studios, health food stores, whatever, in your area that, hey, our employees or our students or our visitors even, they're given a discount code, which is, everybody wins with that.
Everybody wins. I'm going to tell you something too that I think really can have an impact. Now, how you do this is going to depend on whether or not you have audio associated with your content. And if you don't, you need to probably have some, include captions or something in your videos, but short form videos can be very effective. They can be, things to get you to say, wow, I need to give to this organization, or maybe just something as simple as, hey, you can do this stretch at your desk or while you're walking down the hall. I mean, something as simple as that. It's got to be real short, real sweet, and to the point. And you do have to be careful with audio. You don't want to drive anybody crazy with that thing, popping up in the playlist every now and then. So it depends on your audience and where you are and where that video is going to play. But those can be very impactful.
Yeah, that's true. The old a picture is worth 1,000 words. I like to say 5 seconds of video is worth 1,000 pictures. Now, what about gamification? I know we've talked about this in the past in other contexts. Is there a way to gamify this stuff?
Oh, of course. Think about it. Step counts. Yeah. So weight loss, weightlifting, monthly prizes. Just think about, you could have a health food truck come to your campus or your office, and maybe do that for the whole team, or maybe do it for a department that maybe reach their goal together. Like a whole department said, hey, we're going to lose 20 pounds.
Ah, that's a cool idea. So there's no like finger on just, yeah, you fat guy. Right. It's like, as a group, we're going to lose this much weight. And I also like you threw in weightlifting. I mean, why not? People could take videos of themselves going like, yeah, man, I lifted X number of pounds.
There are some folks here that are older than me that do a great job of weightlifting. I see it on their Instagram, and yeah, I mean, that could be fun. I mean, obviously, everybody needs to be careful, right? You don't want to go out and just try to pick up a 400-pound bar.
Right. Lift with your legs, not your back.
Yes, exactly. That'll throw your back out in about 3 seconds. But yeah, I mean, that's just fun. I mean, and again, you're not, like you said, you're not pointing fingers at one person. Do it as a group. You feel more accountable, right? You're held kind of like, oh, I don't want to be the bad one in this group.
I'm the bad fat lazy apple.
Yeah, I don't want to be the fat lazy apple. So yeah, I think that's a fun thing that you can do. You can also use interactive displays to help tailor information to just a specific subset of your audience. So you can use like a digital directory to like for a wellness board.
Oh, there you go. Right. Because that's really all these boards that we keep talking about, menu boards are slightly different, but still basically underneath it, all the architecture is the same. Hall of Fame boards, donor boards. They're really just very clever use of digital directory technology. So yeah, that's actually a great idea. Why not a wellness board?
Yeah, it could be used for anything. You could search by weight loss, relaxation, desk exercises, whatever it is. Everything you have, just benefits, tips, vendors.
Oh, there you go. Right. Hey, I want to lose weight. Boom. Here are some things you can do here in the office or the college. Here are some things you could do at home. Here are some programs in the neighborhood. Now, we're doing a lot of health stuff here for the body, but as you mentioned at the very top, mental health is also super important, and we really can't forget things like psychological health. and emotional health. You mentioned, of course, that even physical exercises, but there are mental exercises people can do as well that help reduce stress. And this is important because what was this? I came across a statistic recently. It was an astonishing number. It was like 75% of American workers claim that they experience stress during their working hours. And I was like, man, that's way too many people.
A lot of people. Yeah. And you could, if you think about this, relaxation tips, all of that, we've mentioned that we just talked about all of that. Encouraging social connection, just reminding people that they're part of the team, they're part of a larger community, they're not alone. But you can track engagement through campaigns like how many views this message has had, how many, number of times a QR code was scanned. How many people signed up to this seminar or this thing that you're doing, right? This mental health session, whatever it is, that really helps you see who's looking at that messaging and who's interested in it. That can all track back to mental health. Make sure you're letting people know that there's resources out there that can help them. There's teammates that can help them. If you're stuck on something and it's stressing you out, like, oh, I don't know how to configure this widget or whatever it is, you've got a team member who can help you with that. Just let people know they're part of a bigger community. They're not alone. I think that's important.
I think you could say that we're all responsible for each person's health and wellness. So why not your signage? Well, I have to tell you, some fantastic examples and ideas in there for content for health and wellness, which, as we said, is apropos since it's the beginning of the new year, and this is sort of top of mind for a lot of people. Don't let it fade away like a lot of New Year's resolutions do. Keep it up all year round. Here's the thing. What can it hurt?
Yeah. And I think, again, make sure you're tracking that engagement for whatever you are promoting. Make sure you're using QR codes, you're sending people to a website, because make sure that your content you're promoting is working. We say that about all content. That's key.
Well, I'd like to thank Ellyce Kelly, professional services consultant for Visix, for talking to me today about how to keep health and wellness top of mind for your target audience throughout the year. Thanks, Ellyce. Some really interesting ideas in there.
Thank you, Derek. Always great to talk to you. Hope your year is fantastic.
I'm sure it will be. And of course, thank you everybody out there for listening. I remind you again that there is a transcript with some helpful links on the Visix website. For more free stuff, head to resources on Visix.com for guides, videos, and more to help with your visual communications. Please subscribe and share, and contact us for information about our digital signage solutions.